Hey everybody, Nathan here, playing some more Team Fortress 2. This is the 5th installment of the series I call Dusty TF2, where if you don't know, I use my most underused weapons, or at least favorite weapons. Usually they overlap, since obviously if I don't like the weapons I won't use them, but that is basic logic. Moving on here, I will be using the Natasha, the Buffalo Steak Sandwich, Obvious Spy is Obvious, and the Holiday Punch. So, the map I'm also playing on is Koth Badlands, and I don't really play on Badlands that much. I just don't really have a liking for the map, but I have maybe played on Koth Badlands, Koth specifically, maybe like 5 times in total, so I'm kind of new to this map. One thing I have learned on Koth Badlands is that heavies dominate. Period. End of story. This map is so dedicated to heavies, and heavies just complement it so well because you basically have one bridge or choke point where a lot of demos and soldiers can spam, but usually it's the person with the most health wins since there's just so much crap flying around, and that's just kind of how it works. So if you're gonna play on Koth Badlands, I would definitely mouthful there. That's what she said. I would definitely suggest playing Badlands. And look at that. I actually don't use the steak sandwich at all, so I forgot that you couldn't pull out your weapons. Because I thought it was like the Criticola where you basically just deal out and receive mini crits, but I forgot that the heavy pulls out his melee and you can't switch that. So I totally forgot about that. Shows you how much of a noob I am still at some of these weapons. So getting into the breakdown here of why I don't use these weapons. So first off, we have the primary, the Natasha, and it's not as if this is my least favorite heavy minigun. My least favorite is probably the Brass Beast, just because I really don't like that lowered move speed, because snipers can just headshot you all day long, and usually they can headshot you normally, like all the time, but with the Brass Beast, that just like multiplies their chances of headshotting you and just taking you out right away, and that's kind of what you want to be as a force on the battlefield. But when you're that slow moving and people can headshot you that easily, that just doesn't work out for me. But anyway, I kind of got off topic there, talking about the Brass Beast instead of the Natasha. It's not as if I don't like the Natasha, but it just ends up being my least used heavy minigun. I kind of like them all the same, but you know, like default minigun is my favorite. And then probably after that is the Tomislav, and then the Natasha, and then the Brass Beast, but I just don't really use the Natasha that much. I couldn't really tell you why, but I don't know, maybe it's its stats or something. Its lower damage is a little bit annoying, and you can't really notice the slowdown speed, but I do like it because it has a really quiet spin-up sound, and it's also very quiet when firing, so it's not like super like annoying when you're spectating somebody and they're standing right next to a heavy, and it's just this like all up in your face, and it's so that is nice about the Natasha, but yeah, I just don't use it that much. And that kind of sums up my opinion on that. But so moving on to the secondaries here, we have the Buffalo Steak Sandwich is what I'm using. And I don't really use this mainly because I believe it was meant to be like a gimmick weapon. It's not really used to be like super legit. Like the sandwich, most heavies use because it's pretty much the best. But the steak sandwich, I mean, you just kind of use to mess around in like trade servers and idle servers, and yeah, so that's kind of like that. But in terms of usefulness, this... Oh, and watch this. Okay, so this sentry is down with the Wrangler, and I've got an Uber halfway through firing through it. But even though the engineer came back halfway through to heal it, it still doesn't go down somehow, even though it's like almost dead there. I was just like dumbfounded at how it still survived. That Wrangler's shield is really powerful. But anyway, in terms of the steak sandwich's usefulness, it is not useful at all, like absolutely, because I'm never gonna need to pull out my melee and do mini crits ever in like a legit situation. But yeah, that's kind of like my views on that. Normally I use the sandwich, and every once in a while I'll go shotgun heavy. I actually have that saved as my class D for my heavies, shotgun heavy. So, yeah, kind of getting off topic there. But anyway, moving on to the third melee weapon, we have the Holiday Punch, and I haven't used this for two reasons. The first one is mainly because it's very, very new, and I just haven't had, like, a lot of time to mess around with it in trade servers or anything. But, I also don't use it because it's got, like, really complicated stats, and, I mean, that's not, like, not why I use it, but, it's just, I don't really like it that much how you can only really, make it useful if you hit somebody from behind, and it's like heavies aren't really that ninja-y, if you know what I'm talking about there. Usually they're a big target, they can be seen, so you can never really sneak behind enemy lines, and I do realize that this is supposed to be used for like messing around and stuff, but in terms of like legit usefulness, like the Buffalo Steak Sandwich, it's just not good. I normally use the Gloves of Running Urgently, just like pretty much every other heavy, because they are arguably the most overpowered heavy weapon, because it takes away his most major weakness, his size, or no, his speed. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I just don't use the Holiday Punch a lot because I don't know, I just don't really like its effects. And that really sums up this Dusty Heavy. There wasn't really a lot to talk about for Heavy because Heavy is a fairly straightforward class, just like the Pyro. Unless you're like doing a degreaser with like a flare gun and quick weapon switches and stuff, Heavy and Pyro are pretty much the most straightforward classes, and there's not like a lot to talk about. Sorry for that. In terms of like heavy weapons and like how they affect the battlefield and stuff, cause I mean he's just a heavy. You just like put down your minigun and start shooting people. That's pretty much how his class works, and I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much like all there is to talk about for that. I do play heavy every once in a while. Whenever like we don't have a heavy on our team, I'll sometimes go heavy, and yeah, that's pretty much the extent of when I play heavy. So right now we have a minute 20 on the clock, and Red just capped it for the first time. So I took out their medic there. I was pretty happy about that. I knew that demo man was a spy, so I'm kind of keeping an eye for that doorway. I see another spy, and then this demo man comes back and I don't even know what he was thinking, because he wasn't even going for my back. He just kind of went to my side there. So I wasn't sure what he was trying to do with that. And look at that kill feed, man. That is just sexy. So then that sniper comes around the corner of that barrels or boxes or whatever, and headshots me. So I thought he would just kind of like stay back there, maybe jump off the bridge out of fear or something, but he actually just goes back and headshots me. So I thought that was pretty funny. So now we cap the point back, and we are pretty much just like rolling this other team. I don't know, I'm trying to like, I figured I had a good enough score, so I'll take out my Holiday Punch and try to muddy it up as best I can. But that doesn't really work out for me here. There's a spy. Didn't really want to go after that one. I figured the Pyro had that one. So I thought this scout was a spy, so I was going to try to take him out. But turns out he wasn't, and the scout just comes up from behind, and I think he two-shots me with a scattergun. So that was pretty much the extent of my try-harding with the Holiday Punch for this round. So I also just realized that I never really used the Buffalo Steak Sandwich in this round either. The only time that I can remember is I put it down for a medic in case he lost some health. But yeah, I just didn't really want to make a fool of myself trying to use it. That little Holiday Punch get-go there was like the extent of what I wanted to do. But I think by now I'm like 52 and like 13, something like that, kills and deaths. Fail aim with that scout there. Oh man, earn an achievement. That's great. Climb up here, hoping not to get headshot, and I'm trying to call this medic to give me the Uber, because soldiers, frankly, are not that good with Ubers if you want to take out sentries and huge crowds of people. You just don't Uber a soldier, you Uber either a heavy or a demo, so quick tip for you new medics out there, please just don't Uber soldiers, especially when they have to reload. It is one of my biggest pet peeves when a medic Ubers me as a soldier, and I have to reload all 4 rockets. That just drives me crazy. So we are about to win here. There is 5 seconds left, and that spy almost backstabbed me, but I turned around just in time. So that is pretty much the end of this video, guys. If you would leave a rating, that would be so much appreciated. And look out for my Dusty TF2 Engineer video. That will be actually quite interesting, being Engineer is a much more dynamic class, and yeah, so thanks for watching everybody, have an awesome day, and as always, peace out.